Hello and welcome to another enlightening video. In this video, we are going to uncover rarely talked about lessons and takeaways from the highly reviewed and famous book of Morgan Housel, The Psychology of Money. This will be your one-stop video to discover more details and simple to understand lessons from this amazing book. Let's dive right in. We are all newbies in the game of money. As stated in the first chapter of this amazing book, no one is crazy when it comes to how we understand and use money. Every one of us does crazy stuff with money, and what may not make sense to you on how I use and view money makes sense to me. Most of us have discovered the game of money just a few years ago. Due to the development of the internet, many of us have had the chance to learn a thing or two about money, as the information is easily accessible now compared to decades back when it was scarce and only known by a few. This means that it's easier to access essential information about saving and investing from the internet, books, and informative financial videos from people who have experienced the world of money. So, don't think you are the only one who is new to investing. All of us are learning from experiences as we navigate the world of finances. No one is absolutely right or absolutely wrong. We are experiencing both the highs and the lows of our own financial journeys. Not everyone that is broke is lazy. This is another lesson that not many financial experts say or talk about. People from all walks of life work hard their entire lives with the goal of accumulating lots of money for financial security. Every construction worker, plumber, teacher, driver, 9-to-5 corporate employee, or hourly employee who puts in so much effort every single day in order to be financially secure to support themselves and their families. It is time to admit that luck does exist in this world, and that most successful people are successful today partly because they were lucky. You can see it with investors. Every investor who starts investing in a stock hopes that the stock performs well and in the end earns them profit, but this isn't always what happens. Stock prices fluctuate each year, and the possibility of the stock market always performing well is not known. If, for instance, you invested in the cryptocurrency when it was introduced in the market, the possibility of you knowing how great it will perform in the following years would have been zero. Moreover, not all success is due to someone working hard in their life. Even Warren Buffett himself wouldn't have known that him starting investing when he was still young would actually make him one of the richest investors in the world. Why? Because there may have been someone else who did what Warren Buffett did but wasn't fortunate enough to succeed like Buffett or otherwise known. The same goes for every successful business person, TikToker, or YouTuber millionaires. These individuals just started something with a leap of faith that they would succeed, and somehow something happened that made it possible for them to succeed. Why can't it just be called luck? Why not? As there exists luck in success, risk is also present. As there is a successful YouTuber, there is also one that isn't. That's why they say, all investments are risky, and whether your investments perform well or not, you may not know. When investing, know there is the risk of you losing your money, and there is sheer luck of your investments performing great. I know it will always sound negative for one to say that their success in a business or an investment is sheer luck, but let's be honest. There is also someone in the world who started the same business as yours or invested in the same investment as you did and didn't succeed. They all start something with what ifs in mind. No one knows if what they are doing will be successful or not. We just take a leap of faith in ourselves, and somehow you do something that changes everything in your life. Just because one has the best education credentials doesn't mean they are good with their money. Just before you get to actually start the book, Housel tells two stories of a janitor and a Harvard-educated scholar. Ronald Red, the janitor, invested his little savings in blue-chip stocks that earned him more than $8 million by the time of his passing. Richard Fuscone, the well-educated man with a successful finance career, had literally nothing invested throughout his career. These two individuals had different academic backgrounds when it came to finances. It's then safe to say that not everyone that you see working in the best-paying corporate jobs has their finances in order. As said in the book, there are two explanations for these two scenarios. 1. It shows that financial outcomes are driven by luck, effort, and independent of intelligence, and 2. It shows that financial success is not a hard science. Instead, it's a soft skill of how you behave with your finances is more important than what you know. So, having soft skills on how to handle and manage your finances is more important than the technical side of money. Lack of actual real-life financial literacy. It's evident that the school system hasn't changed for years, and that is evident with more than 90% of the population of people are living paycheck to paycheck due to lack of personal financial literacy and the truth about how money actually works. In this book, Morgan clearly shows us the irony of even one having gone to study finance in school not getting the full enlightenment about finances. Instead, a lot of inputting data into formulas is emphasized, telling you what to do and assuming that you will just do it when you are out in the real world. It's important that you take things into your own hands and take the time and effort to learn about personal finance and enlighten yourself on how money actually works. This is through reading books, watching videos on personal finances, taking financial courses, if you can afford them, and taking seminars and workshops. The best thing to do if you are starting out is to take advantage of the free available resources found on the internet, such as YouTube videos and blog posts, to learn the basics to broaden your knowledge. Also, if you have kids, take the time to enlighten them about finance and how money works in the real world, because for sure, they won't get to learn them in school. The way you view money isn't your fault. Another rarely pointed out fact on how each one of us relates to finances. We are raised in different generations, with different parents who earn income in different ways and hold different values about different things. This means that not every one of us has had the same experiences when it comes to finances, as we are from different countries which each have their own different economies and job markets. As you have seen and now recognize that we do have differences, that means that the way I view money isn't the way you or any other person in the world views money. Each of us has our own unique experience with how the world and money works, as your experience will definitely be different from another person's experience. That's why someone who grew up in poverty has a different perspective about money compared to someone who grew up in a well-off family. As we have different views when it comes to money, that means that there will always be the haves and the have-nots, as most of the population knows so little about how money works. So, whatever you know about money, your beliefs, goals, and forecasts will be totally different from another person, as we have different lives shaped by different experiences. Your investment decision is influenced by the experiences you go through during the adult life generation you are in. As we have just said before, each one of us has a different view on finances, and that will have a big impact on your decisions when it comes to investing and saving. As financial experts encourage us to make investment decisions based on our financial goals and the type of investment option available, it's not what individuals always do. Our decision when it comes to investing or saving is always from what is going on at the moment. If, for example, most of your adult life you've grown when the inflation was high, then you may tend to invest little of your money in low investment vehicles like bonds and treasury bills compared to one that grew up when inflation was low. So, if most of your adult life you've grown up when the inflation was low and the stock market was doing great, then you may opt to invest more of your money into the stock market. Your response to financial information about investing or savings won't be the same if you are from a developed country compared to someone from a developing country, as you are from different worlds. As Housel says, every financial decision a person makes sense to them in that moment and checks the boxes they need to check. Mind your own business. We experience different financial job opportunities depending on where each of us comes from. Someone from United States, UK, or Canada has a different job market and better job environment compared to someone from countries that have harsh and poor working conditions due to different governmental infrastructures. Housel highlights that most of the low-income class people who live paycheck to paycheck view lottery tickets differently than people who have high incomes. Someone from a low-income background views lottery tickets as the fastest way to get the good things in life that they don't have. So, if you are able to invest in stocks, purchase a house, or be lucky enough to work in a conducive environment, then mind your business, as not everyone has the same opportunities as you. Criticizing others from other parts of the world on how they should look for great-paying jobs in order to improve their life is demeaning, as both of you don't have the same opportunities or live in the same economic market space. Do what you are able to do where you are and let others do what they are able to do where they are. Comparison destroys everything you have achieved. It's practically a universal tendency in this age of social media, being bombarded with shining things every single day. This book gives us perspective on why it's a surefire way that prevents us from achieving our financial goals. Each one of us has a unique financial journey, just as we have unique and different fingerprints. When we get caught up in comparing our possessions or achievements to others, we're setting ourselves up for financial frustration. What's worse, this can lead to us making risky decisions that prevent us from being content with what we have now and always wanting to keep up with the Joneses. It's important to acknowledge that we are living in a world where people only want to show the good side of life and not the other messy side of success. Things aren't as great as you see, as so many people are showing the illusion of being rich and successful, and rarely show the effort and sleepless nights put in achieving what they have. What matters most is staying focused on your own financial objectives and making decisions that align with your values and aspirations. Alright, let's talk about a concept that might sound like financial jargon, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools in your financial arsenal: compound interest. Morgan Housel gives us a crash course on this fascinating phenomenon through Warren Buffett and Jim Simon's investment success stories and why underestimating it is a major money mistake. He paints a picture of compound interest as a silent superhero of wealth building. It's the concept of your money earning interest, and then that interest also earns interest, and the key that harnesses this power is starting early. A lot of books have been written about the richest investor Warren Buffett, of his success, and little is said of when he actually started investing. Not much is written about Jim Simon, while he is the greatest investor of all time. You might be wondering why. Well, because Warren Buffett started investing when he was 10 years old, while Jim Simon found his investment stride in his 50s. Warren Buffett held the power of compounding much earlier than Jim Simon. But if they both started early in life, Jim Simon would most likely been much ahead. So, starting early does really have a great impact on your investments. Even small contributions can turn into substantial sums thanks to the beauty of compounding. Housel states that good investing is about earning pretty good returns that you stick with and which can be repeated for a long period of time, and not about earning the highest returns. So, don't underestimate the impact of time on your financial journey. Staying wealthy and successful is about survival. This is one of my favorite takeaways from this book. Housel gives two rarely spoken skills of becoming successful: one is getting money and two is keeping it. He clearly explains the difference between these two skills, where he explains the skill of getting money requires one to take risks, be optimistic, and put yourself out there into the world. As for the skill of keeping money, requires humility and fear that whatever you have made and built throughout your life can easily be taken away from you. Not only that, it requires you to be frugal with your money and have the courage to accept that some of the successes you've achieved are due to luck, thus you can't really rely on or repeat what you did in the past to become successful. So every single one of us should keep in mind that yesterday's success doesn't guarantee tomorrow's achievements. Survival is what has been one of the reasons that enabled the richest investor, Warren Buffett, to succeed in his investments. It is highly advised for one to not only use one investment strategy but also not quit their job without a solid plan to start a business or retire early to succeed, but to also have a survival mindset, just as Warren had of longevity since young, to not sell his investments through all the recessions he has lived through. You should have a margin of safety when you want to embark on any life journey, be it career-wise or financial world. As stated in the book, margin of safety is raising the odds of success at a given level of risk by increasing your chances of survival. So, as you plan your retirement or start your investment journey, give room for error, as no one knows what may happen in the future. It is normal for a lot of things to fail. Have you ever wondered why most successful individuals have multiple streams of income or invest in different kinds of investment vehicles? It's because they are aware that not all income streams or investment assets will perform well. They know that some investments or income streams will fail, some will perform average, and some will contribute the highest to the income they will receive. The same goes for content creation income streams like YouTube. Most of YouTubers' ad revenue comes from 1 or 2 videos they have on their channel. The extra revenue received is from the other videos that don't really perform well but are still bringing in some money each month. That's why there is a rise in people investing in index funds, ETFs, and money market funds. These investments consist of different stocks put together as one, so that even if one stock of a particular company doesn't perform well, other stocks will still be doing well and earning returns to your investment portfolio. So, do something different than what others are doing. Meaning, don't just invest when things are going well and sell when things are looking not okay. If you are an investor, keep on putting money in your money market fund or your index fund, and avoid listening to the negative market news always being put onto your screen year after year. Genius investors know that the market may not be good today, but over time their investments are still growing no matter what the market looks like. Failure is part of every career, business, investing, and finance, and you won't get it right the first, second, fourth, or even 10th time. Just because you see the success of Google, Amazon, or Apple companies doesn't mean every single product or service they offer is doing well. When you research well enough, you will realize there's only 1 or 2 products or services that bring in the largest revenue, and the remaining ones have failed or are average, which you rarely hear of. Having control of your life is the common denominator to your happiness. If you ever wonder what really drives you to want to be rich and successful, then this will be the ability of you to control your life. It's not really about you becoming happier, as there are so many rich and successful people in the world that aren't truly, as they aren't in control of their lives. Having the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want is something every one of us is truly aiming for. That's the happiness each one of us is striving for. The freedom to spend time with your loved ones without the fear of losing your job or your business not running because you are not there. The freedom to not be terrified of your boss firing you, as you have more than a year of emergency fund in your high-interest savings account that can sustain you as you figure out what next, or can help with any sudden emergency that may arise, or even deciding when you want to retire instead of when you need to. As it is well said in the book, you may really love what you do, but doing something you love on a schedule you can't control can feel the same as doing something you hate. Controlling your time is the highest dividend money pays, and the more freedom you will have. No one really cares about the rich, they care more about what they have. No one really cares who is driving that luxurious expensive car on the road or sitting in your garage. People are more interested in the car itself. Also, to say the truth, do you really care about the people living in those expensive high-end apartments you see in town and along the road, or the people living in the big homes? No, you don't. The same goes for those with high-end luxury items like jewelry and clothes. What you want most is to also have the opportunity to acquire these items, and less about those who already have them. These items may make you think you will gain more respect and admiration, but they really won't. Housel emphasizes that we should be careful about how we seek to be admired and respected. Rich is a current income, while wealth is income not spent. In simple terms, wealth is what you don't see. Just because someone is driving a $250,000 Ferrari doesn't mean he fully owns it, or someone who lives in a $1 million home estate that the estate is theirs. Most of these owners acquired these items through loans or debt. Of course, anyone who can afford to take on a loan or debt to finance a certain item like a car or a home is certainly rich, as they are in a certain level of income to afford the repayment. So, you may ask, why is there a difference between being rich and being wealthy? Well, being rich is when the income you are receiving now can sustain your lifestyle for a few years, while being wealthy is income created in the past few years and now that can support your lifestyle and that of the next generation. So, be slow to judge anyone's successes, as looks can be deceiving, and time hasn't lied to us, since we get to see year after year how people who look rich go bankrupt and are not ever seen again in the limelight, and the wealthy who easily come back from any bad financial situation, as they always have a way to rise up again. Learn to be happy with what you have now and use it to your advantage. If you can't start investing right away, at least have a savings account. Investing does bring forth more annual returns than savings, but regularly saving can go a long way even if you aren't ready to invest. Yes, you may seem crazy to only save, but having a savings account does give you more control of your money compared to investing, as markets are uncertain to whether they will perform well or not. One way to do this, no matter what level of income bracket you are, is humility. Savings doesn't really require you to only be saving to purchase something. You can just save for the sake of saving. Having something like an emergency fund is the saving for the sake of saving I am referring to. As we live in an unpredictable world, having an emergency savings account will pull out of some unpredictable, unforeseen events that may occur. Save as little as you can, and at the end of the year, you will be surprised at how much you have accrued over the months. This being the first part of 2 parts of uncovering less talked about lessons from this amazing book, comment below part 2, so that I know you want more rarely talked about takeaways from this book. If you enjoyed this video, kindly hit the subscribe button to let YouTube recommend this video to more people so they can learn more about this book, to never miss a video and to show support to the channel.